I was trying to work predominantly with recycled demolition materials. So yeah, just swapping days' work for windows and doors and things like that. Police, actually the big Cowrie beam in there came out of the police buildings down the waterfront when they were rebuilding Princess Wharf and all that sort of thing down there. Yeah, work in progress to a point.
Dynamic is the first word that comes into my head. He never stops moving, and very focused on what he's doing. He's one of those people that when he's focused on, he's doing something to do with his work, whether it's fireworks or carving something or anything. You can speak to him and he almost won't hear you. He's like safety conscious to the point where his mates take the mickey out of him for being like, kind of over the top sometimes. So that really reassures me. And yeah, I've had my moments of being worried about him, but I guess at the end of the day, it's like, it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
He's a fairly unusual character, but he's very generous, he's very outgoing, quite gregarious, and very capable. So you might meet him in all sorts of situations. You might be dangling off a rope, or you might be getting a house built or something like that.
When I was young, it was mainly blowing things up, I think, really. I think that's how probably most of us start. What's the biggest bang you can make and what you can blow up, sort of thing. And so yeah, I used to pull different things to bits, and as I pulled them to bits, I had a little book, actually, a little A4 book, even as a kid, I used to keep, and every firework I pulled apart, I used to write down what was in it. I used to weigh out how much gunpowder, what the charge was. I'd take every little part apart and work out the spacings of each tube, and so I was almost a little bit fanatical about it actually. And I'd even write to firework companies and suggest ideas and question them and things like that. So I started off in New Zealand doing stonemasonry and working on buildings, particularly churches actually. Most of my jobs sort of initially when I came here was working on historic buildings and churches and things like that. Recarving a lot of the stones, replacing a lot of the stones, working on old schools. I used to do a lot of lifting every day, and eventually after about five or 7 years, had started getting some major back issues, and I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I bent over and got sort of locked up and sort of locked in sort of like a dog actually for about 3 or 4 hours, and on the floor on all fours like a dog, completely locked up. Looked a bit funny when my girlfriend got home at the time. Basically had some major faults in the lower part of my spine, was bedridden for the majority or the best part of a year, also being in that amount of pain every day as well, an excruciating amount of pain, like nerve pain, sort of spinal nerve pain, but obviously also being bedridden, there was nothing I could do with that. There's a lot of holes in the wall around the bed where I just couldn't take the pain any longer. I was on lots of painkillers and things, but I'd just lose the plot and sort of end up punching the wall and making holes in the jib all around the bed. And always been a little bit scared of the medical profession, so it took me a year before I went in under the knife, sort of thing. It was also going to be a fairly major operation. There was a possibility that I would never walk again from the operation, so it took me quite a lot of time to think about whether I was prepared to go in or not, or whether I was prepared to stay like this for the rest of my life. I got to the point where I really was sick of it, so I chose to go in and have sort of major back surgery, major back operation. They reamed out my neural canal and cut bits off my spine and cut bits of my disc out and put them back in different places and things like that. So, but at the end of that, I could actually stand up again and walk, which was pretty amazing actually at the time. I remember the first day I was actually in tears, actually, because going from a year of not being able to walk and thinking that you could be a cripple for the rest of your life to actually standing and walking again. I'll remember those first few steps for the rest of my life. And it was, yeah, like I say, it was very emotional as well, because having gone from that much and not being in pain every day, you know, it made me realise I wanted to put more time into community and things like that. So I've always thought it was a really nice concept if everyone put, you know, maybe 2 or 3 hours every week into the community, into some sort of focus that wasn't sort of purely about themselves or their family sort of thing. So yeah, around and about that time when I was up and about a bit more, I joined the local fire brigade. Used to get into a lot of the planting weekends and things. And yeah, I've been in the fire brigade ever since actually, and that's in a lot of ways it felt negative at the time, but I can only see sort of positive coming out of it sort of long term, because yeah, the way I look at life now is, yeah, a lot bigger than I looked at it before, so yeah, that's it. Sometimes that's the thing, is just realising sometimes that, you know, the bad in your life can turn out to be the good as well, you know. It's just, again, how you look at it at the different points of the journey.
He likes to achieve, you know, he likes to not in a necessarily a materialistic way. He's not particularly interested in money or fame or any of those things, but just he likes to, I think, do anything he's going to do it kind of to the best of his ability and come out on top, I guess. Yeah.
He's someone, jack of all trades, and yeah, it's hard to describe. You'd have to meet him basically. So yeah.